Katie. You need the screwdriver, bud. Come on.
This is hot.
I'm telling you, you gotta go in there. Let me do it. Testing. Can y'all hear us okay online?
All right, it is 1 o'clock, and we're going to call this MOARK District Board meeting to order. We're going to stand and do the pledge, and lastly, we'll do the council.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America.
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I haven't thought it was a great move to live in the country, being together, so the community, the state, the world, one.
Amen. Hey guys, do you mind muting, and then if you want to say something, you can unmute? Just so that there's not a lot of background noise.
All right. There you go, do a roll call.
I will do the roll call. Ron Hill is absent. A.C. Paxton. Carl O'Brien. Bill Dooley's on Zoom. John Buckwalter.
Here.
Les May.
Here.
Martha Roginski. Here. John Lupo.
Here.
Rick Waddlebon. I'm hoping he'll be on Zoom, but he had a lot going on today. Susan LaFawn. Roy Oakert. Tom Stout.
Here.
Mary Vaughn. Here, and Robin Ashton. We have a quorum,
All right.
Your Honor.
All right, let's go. I'm going to introduce a couple of our guests. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
I just didn't want to scream at you. Well, sometimes I do, but not today. Anyway, Katie is our convention chair. Do you have a few words you'd like to say right now, or do you want to wait till later?
I can wait until later. I think we're pretty early on the report, so whenever you're ready, we can go.
All right. Why don't you go ahead now, because when Barbara gets here, she'll speak for 4 hours.
Yeah, thanks for giving me a small window. I appreciate it, AC. So I think we've sent out our survey results to everyone, and there are 42 yeses that they would attend, 177 no's, but let me frame that in us saying we don't know if they would have come either way. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily that we ask only past attendees. And then we had 81 undecided. Those 81, half of them or more may decide to come now that the CDC has changed the mask mandate. So I think the question about convention, before we really start our planning in depth, other than talking about how we wanted to present education, all we've done is said we would do videos of that and then have in-person sessions. So we're good to go. And Mary has a report because she talked to the hotel as recently as yesterday. So Mary, do you want to jump in on that?
Sure. I talked to them yesterday. I got them to decrease our requirements for room nights to 150. That's for the whole weekend. So I thought that was a lot more doable than the 200 that we had. And then I got them to lower our food budget to $10,000 rather than $12,300. That was based on the meals that we would be providing. So when you look at the prices that they charge, which are a little higher, and they charge sales tax, so we should be able to hit that $10,000 down. So we did get them to come down a little bit so that it makes it a little easier for us to meet those
And the truth is, we don't know what we don't know about how things will be even in another month or two. We might see us turn out as good as we had in the Bentonville area. It might be lower like it was the last time we met in person, but either way, we know that we're now free to go ahead. And I think we need to decide how much risk are we willing to take if we end up with fewer than those numbers that are guaranteed. So that's up to the board to decide that and give guidance to us and to the committee.
Do we want to discuss this, make a decision now? I think I saw in the budget that we had.
I can't hear you, AC. I can't hear you.
Yes, I think I saw in the budget, Roy, where we had like $18,000 in the budget for the convention. So we have 18,000.
Right now, yes.
We don't budget the convention, all right.
No, we don't budget the convention. We don't budget the convention because our goal is for the convention to break even. If we make a few dollars, wonderful. But we try to keep an amount in the budget or in the accounts just so we have money should we need to, should we have to go in the hole, which our goal is not to. So anyway, we have $18,000 in there. That doesn't count the fees that we'll charge to everyone for attending the conference and for the meals. But the goal is for the convention to break even.
With that being said, I think it's time that we step up and make a decision to go or not to go. And I'm encouraged our president stepping up, saying we don't have to wear the mask. That's a step in the right direction. And if it gets worse, it gets worse. You can't, you just can't play it. You gotta know how you got faith. So if somebody, I would call a vote if somebody wants to make a motion.
We need to have an active victim knowledge.
Thank you, Tom.
And I would second.
Sorry, Rex, you got me quick. And we'll have a roll call vote, and I saw Barb come in, and she's trying to hide from the slip back. Is it double or triple?
Do you want a roll call or do you want to just call for a vote?
Let's just call for a vote. Those in favor of having our convention in August, what those dates, Roy? 5 through 7? Yes.
Aye.
Aye. And those opposed? So we're gonna have a convention, it may be us, or we'll have a good time. Very well. You might be right. I saw Bob Thompson sneak in, and
Well, you're kind of going, I
got you covered, don't worry. I'm just gonna say hi, Bob, and I see where we headed later, like your report. Is that okay?
yes, that's fine.
You're so sweet to me.
We also have another guest, we have Mary Sally here, who is going to be Martha's replacement in Region 4. So she'll be joining us in October for real, full time. So Mary Sally, just deciding if she wants to stay with us. So we need to be on our best behavior.
All right, moving right on, Mary. It says Mary Long. Is that you?
Okay, that's me. Okay, I sent out the minutes to everybody. I hope you had a chance to review them. If there's any questions, please let me know. If not, then I think we should just call for a motion on behalf of AC.
Vote.
We accept the minutes as sent out.
Thank you, Don. Is there a second?
I'll second.
This side of the table, you guys got to pick up there. But that, we'll take that.
Are they having more fun?
Well, look at Robin, it looks like she is. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're moving right on to the district financial statement. MOARK district financial report will be given by Robin Asher. Robin, you might want the microphone.
Yeah. All right, that sounds good. Well, I'll start out with the account balances. In the checking account, we have 78,841.98. In the convention account, 18,849.16. In the money market account, 168,255.41, because we put the CD proceeds in there. And then our cash flow statement, we had inflows from October to the end of March of 79,478.83. And our expenses. Okay. Oops. Oh, there we are. Well, it's not total. There it is. Sorry. On the back. The outflows are 32,859.45. So overall total 46,619.35 difference this year. Does anybody have any questions? There were other different reports as well that were sent out, so, but I'm not going to go over all of them. Those two pretty much cover everything. Yeah, she sends me 15 reports, and I'm like, well, what do I send out to everybody? So you have the fund sliced and diced any way you want them diced. Right. All right. Anything else? No. All right.
Okay, we're moving right on. A motion to accept that report, yes. Second. Roy, those in favor say aye. Opposed? Okay. Are we at the budget update with Roy? Let me bring the mic.
Okay, what I did to, with Robin's, numbers is I took the district accounts and I did a comparison to a year ago, actually 3/31 of 20 and also 1/31 of 21, which was before our last checkpoint test. And that shows you the progression. Of course, a year ago we were in money market and CDs, 3 CDs, and we combined the CDs into one. And then most recently, we moved those the one CD into the money market. Last year, we agreed to take up to $22,000 out of reserve funds in order to finance the membership contest. I don't believe we've done that, but we could. So right now we have $168,255 in the money market account, which is our reserve. Okay, then I also gave you a budget analysis based on Robin's figures, and there are 2 or 3 things I'll point out there. One is under miscellaneous income, we have looking $700 on Amplify registrations. Those are people like me who send in $100 and the district matched $700. Mary said we've still got some that need to be collected, but we'll have a little bit more there. Under dues, all the money we've had from KI is for regular member dues. We haven't had any new member ad fees that we know of. Now, at some point after January 1st, we probably did have, but we hadn't got that money yet if we're gonna have. And we will have some, although not as much, but really on dues, we're not doing that badly compared to budget. We're just $5,000 under budget. So from what our beginning membership, based on what our beginning membership was. And then on the amplifier, we also had some expenses that are on page 2 of that analysis under miscellaneous expenses, 520, line 520. That we went way over on miscellaneous expenses, but that's $1,800 for amplify registrations. And Mary, is that everything that we'll have to pay on that?
Yes, and we have not gotten our money back from KI. You know,
We'll get rebates back from them as
we have
well.
not received those yet.
So some of that will be offset, plus we
Never
had that,
back to that.
that 700 or whatever. And then on 521, that says new member rebates. We put the membership contest grants into that category. Doesn't quite fit, but it's close enough. So that's that $22,000 of that is for our membership contest. So those are two things that we really added after the budget time, and that's the only thing remarkable about the budget analysis that I've done. I'll be glad to answer questions if anybody has any for that report.
Is there a motion? Those in favor?
Can I make one point? I have received checks from people donating to Barbara's campaign. It hasn't actually gone into the, I just deposited yesterday and I'm getting some more. So if you do donate to Barbara's campaign, make your check memo that says MK Fund, then we know that that's for Barbara's campaign. So just an aside. Oh, it is MA. I'm making it. I'm
All right, thank you. Roy, we're going to talk about the seeding fund recommendations now.
Okay, I passed around two charts that I've done. You saw the first one previously. And then after allowing for time for comments and getting a little bit of feedback, I did another chart and more research. And it's the second chart that I want to talk about mostly because I think it's most relevant for what I think we need to do. The first issue is whether we're going to continue to manage the funds ourselves or hire a money manager, as we discussed with one money manager, and the consensus seemed to be that we didn't want to pay $2,500 or $3,300 up front for somebody just to put our money in the mutual funds. So taking that into consideration, what I did was I did research on no-load mutual funds, ones on which we don't have to pay a commission. We do deal with the company directly. We buy the stock in whatever mutual fund or funds that we want to do to use, and then they make their money from administrative fees off the top as the money progresses and from interest to the fee. There seems to be some consensus also that we do more than one fund, that we invest in more than one fund, that we split our money up. And so the second chart, the one that says no load municipal funds compared by company. What I did was I took 4 of the major companies that were represented by funds in this first study that I did. And all of them had at least 3 different funds that were gold or silver rated by Morningstar, except for Dodge and Stock. And so I added one fund to Dodge and Stock so they would have a third one. It is an international global fund, and I had deleted any international funds previously, but it's a gold rated fund. It does pretty well. What my recommendation is that today we pick one company to invest our funds in, and then later pick 3 funds within that company. The reason I suggest that we stick with one company is it will be easier for our treasurer and for our board to follow what we're doing, how it goes. If we say picked out one fund from each of 3 companies, we're dealing with one website for each of the ones, and different means of doing business with each one. You also have 3 statements every month or every quarter. I do that for my personal funds. I've got 3 or 4, but it's a headache, and there's one of them that's really difficult to deal with. I'd like to get rid of that. Anyway, so what I did beyond that was I did some research into the best companies. And I know many of you are familiar with some of these companies. I found a number of investments analysts which look at both individual funds and companies. And one that I favored because it is so complete in what it does is Investopedia. And Investopedia has picked Fidelity Investments as the #1 mutual funds company, no-load mutual funds company for 3 years in a row. So without regard to what the funds do, I've settled in my mind that of these 4, Fidelity would be our best bet. They also have the best variety of funds to go with. The Vanguard is their second favorite, and that's also a good selection. Dodge and Cox, those stocks, the two funds look really good. But that company went through some difficult times in the early 2010s. They've recovered, I think, pretty well as far as what I can tell. T. Rowe Price is a smaller company. It's had trouble as a small company keeping money managers. One of the important things to remember about any mutual fund is who's doing the managing of the money that's in there, and how long have they been doing it, and how successfully have they been doing it. So although I have one fund at T. Rowe Price, I've had Fidelity in the past. Between those 2, I'd certainly pick Fidelity. I'm not as familiar with Vanguard, but it's also a highly rated company. So what I'd like to do at this point is maybe open the discussion as to whether we want to go with one company and choose 3 funds. These funds that I've got here are not necessarily the best 3 funds to choose within those companies. Those are funds that came out on top, but our goals are maybe different than somebody else. For example, a growth stock would be very good for somebody young and wanting to build a portfolio. growth stocks don't pay dividends for the most part. If they do, they don't pay much. So probably we should avoid a growth fund. We might prefer to go with a dividend fund because we could, transfer the dividends as they accrue into our money market or into our bank account, actually. My preference would be to buy into one equity fund, one bond fund, and one balanced fund. And that would give us a good balance of probably 60% equity and 40% bonds. And that would be a safe investment, I think, across the board. So, I'll open the floor for comments or questions anybody might have.
I'm not familiar with
Well, yeah, I need to pass this around.
Is there any reason that we would not want a dividend fund? Is it a problem to have dividends coming in?
I think the dividend fund would be preferable myself.
Okay, it has no adverse tax consequence.
A dividend fund would be an equity fund, so there's more risk in equity fund. But on the other hand, you're getting revenue out of the fund. A growth fund will only help you if the stock in that fund grows. You gotta sell it off. For example, there's a couple of health funds. Those health funds are basically growth stocks. And they're not gonna give us any revenue as we progress unless we sell it. That's why I say I go with one equity fund that is dividend related. A bond fund, and most bond funds have dividends, although there are a couple that don't. The Dodge and Cox Global Fund, for example, didn't pay a dividend last year. It has in the past, but it didn't last year. The past year is not a good example of anything, I think, to really go on. There's an administrative fee on top, and in under expense ratio, that's what you're going to pay off the top on an annual basis. The ETF funds and the index funds have relatively low costs because they don't have to administer very much. An index fund, for example, just follows. It's set up on the basis of a stock like Standard & Poor's. They buy into funds according to the same ratio as Standard & Poor's. So they don't have to pick stocks, basically.
Anyone on the Zoom have a comment? I personally, I have Vanguard. The administrative fee is just practical now. But that, I'm not recommending. So somebody want to recommend one of these for it?
I'm good with either Fidelity or Vanguard. Recommend Vanguard. It's always good to have somebody who's in it. I've just had one thing on my last report required.
my next one, the value was last month.
Anyone on the left side have a remark to make, a statement?
Yeah, I had some things that I had looked at back to Roy, and it was more heavily weighted toward Fidelity than it was the others, so.
Let me read what Wikipedia said about, you know. Fidelity continues to evolve as a major force in the online brokerage space. Fidelity's brokerage service took our top spot overall in both our 2019 and 2020 Best Online Brokerage Awards, as the firm has continued to enhance key pieces of the platform while also committing to lowering the cost of investing for investors. Fidelity joined in the rush to cut equity and base options commissions to zero in October 2019, but remains devoted to offering top quality research and education offerings to its clients. The firm also makes it easy for clients to earn interest by sweeping uninvested cash into a money market fund. So that's what they say about Fidelity, and here's what they say in their opening statement about Vanguard. Vanguard brokerage was introduced in 1983 by its late founder, John C. Bogle, to enable clients to complement their mutual fund offerings with stocks and bonds. It was not and never has been designed for frequent traders or short-term investors, but it serves investors philosophically aligned with Vanguard's approach to investing, providing a low-cost brokerage experience. The firm's philosophy for new investors is to offer guidance and digital experience incentives that are thoughtful, informed, and measured in their approach, not incentives that reward speculation and trading for the sake of trading. Vanguard dominates the managed account business, but this is not much of a factor when it comes to active trading. Either of those would be a good thing for us to go with, and what I would suggest is not necessarily these three these three mutual funds, but let's do some more research on particular ones and look for ones that would meet our needs.
Go ahead and determine how much money we're talking about. Ballpark.
We have 170,000. You might want to say $20,000.
Is there a motion for one or the other? I will. Last. Which one?
Yeah.
I think Lord wants to stay with one company.
He just looked very different.
Yeah. I think, well, we're wide on the board. Everybody got a comment on the night?
What was that, 170, we have 170 in full-time, how much out? 20. Where do we put the 20, leaving it in the mutual fund? Money market, yeah.
We may need that money to supplement to offset what we spend on the grants for membership contests. We haven't moved anything relevant out of there. Okay. And in the long run, we may not need it, but that would make it easier for us to use it. It's still easy with, even in the mutual fund, it's easy to get money out of it.
There's been a motion that we go with Vanguard. Is there a second? Yes, there's somebody else. There's someone else who would nominate a company. Harlan?
I think we'd be better off going with the Fidelity Group. And I'd like to move that we go with Fidelity, saving 20,000 and putting 50 in 3 out of the funds from Fidelity. And is this, we would say we're going to do it this time, we would make the decision on the 3 we're doing at the board meeting in August.
I can have more research for you if we have a meeting. Or,
Okay, so I guess I made a motion. I would also, if we have a second, have a discussion that will the actual funds be selected by the finance committee or by the board at the next meeting?
We could have a special meeting, we could just have a special meeting.
Okay,
motion and a second to use fidelity. All in favor, say aye. Opposed?
All right, so let me understand, we're not going to make a recommendation at this time on the funds. We're going to come back at the next board meeting and make that decision. Is that correct? Soon we have one.
Roy, I want to personally thank you for all the time and trouble you put into this, because it is not easy.
Yeah.
It takes a smart man, and I'm glad to sit beside you. It's somebody who likes teams. It's not me, so they take care of that, let my wife handle it. All right. We're moving right along, and I think Ms. Barb Thompson is going to talk about the Earl Collins Foundation.
Well, I'm here to tell you about the Earl Collins Foundation, and I'm just reporting on all the hard work that different trustees have done. First of all, John Buckwalter, who's a member of this board, is the Earl Collins Foundation Scholarship Chair, and he has identified 24 Earl Collins Foundation Scholarship winners, which was no easy task this year because things didn't come in very quickly. So there's a division winner in all divisions except 12, 15, and 25, and that is 23 scholarships. There's also a second scholarship in Division 5 because they received the additional incentive scholarship for raising the most funds within their division. Applications to clubs were down 23%. The number of high schools participating was down 14%. Clubs participating were down 15%. So where we are now is that students are completing their data sheets to turn into Gene Bartley. And once college or whatever their post-secondary institution starts, they have to provide to Gene a proof of enrollment. And he then releases the money or informs Dan Yates, who sends a scholarship check for $1,000 to the individual student. My understanding is that at one time, the checks went to the university or college or secondary institution. But what we found out was that some of the institutions then reduced the scholarships that they were receiving from the school. So we don't want that to happen. We want them to have as much support as possible. We, in the Earl Collins Foundation, made its second of 5 $25,000 annual donations pledged to Beatrice Johnson Kiwanis Youth Camp in December, and that is for the camp headquarters structure project. The foundation began a grant program for key clubs of up to $500, and at the beginning of the year, we had no applications because everyone was just not doing anything. But we have now received 2 grant requests, and they've both been funded, and we're very pleased to do that. For our donations, we have received $15,279 in club and individual donations so far this year, which is ahead of 2019-20 and behind of 2018-19, which was probably a more normal year in everyone's lives. So I forwarded, I don't know if Mary had a chance to forward out I forwarded you a spreadsheet that showed which clubs had donated and how much.
You didn't do that today? I did that at King County.
I know it was that. I can't remember if I probably, yes, I did. I just got it from Jean Barber. Yes, I just sent it.
I forwarded it out at this moment.
Okay.
I
Thank
just want you all to know Barbara forwarded these emails while I was driving across the state.
you. I know, and she said, quit
I said,
sending emails and get on the road. And she was right. The Earl Collins Foundation has moved its investment account from Simmons Wealth Management to Edward Jones to save on fees. Simmons has a structure by which they charge a flat fee no matter what, and Edward Jones is more related to trades. And we estimated, Les, please help me, saving between $2,000 and $4,000, is that correct? So that's 2 scholarships or 4 scholarships or 4 Key Club grants or 8 Key Club grants, depending on how much money we save. So we are looking forward to that savings. Thanks to Earl Collins Foundation trustees Carla O'Brien and Tom Wiles. Carla O'Brien is also our governor-elect, as you know. The Earl Collins, that's why I wanted you to know. We have a new brochure. I hope you've seen it. Carla mailed out to all the trustees 30 brochures, and some people have asked for more. And we're going to get it on the website. And finally, thanks to Don Pope and Martha Rajinski, we are having a raffle drawing, replacing, we have lost the baseball raffle. We have our football raffle. We have lost our Earl Collins Foundation, our silent auction, although we're going to have a convention. Yeah, so we might have it still, we could. Yeah, okay, but anyway, please, I think, Martha, did you bring these? Thank you. Martha brought these in color so that it catches your eye. Please participate, buy early and buy often. And you see the prizes, $700, $200, $100, that would pay for convention.
If I can add, Mark, I did go to the address here, buy my tickets. It's very easy, even I can do it.
There you go, what a testimony. Hey, any questions about anything that we went over? We do know. Martha, don't we? Did we set a limit on the number of tickets? Okay.
We do. I'll just make.
We had talked about 200, between 200 and 250 was what we would like to do now.
But we could go over that.
We can certainly go over it.
Martha says 1,000. I like that.
Yeah, I do too, 1,000. So everybody can buy as many as you want. Any other questions?
Did you say the fish is 15?
That's correct, 12, 15, and 25. John?
I don't know why. 15 also just didn't do it.
15, Kathleen. Or who did 15?
That's Kathleen. Well, she's the lieutenant governor, who's a trustee.
Yeah, I know, I realized that. Martha said that.
Me too. I was agreeing with you. I thought it was Kathleen too.
She probably did.
Kathleen, who's the Earl Collins trustee from 15?
You're on mute, sweetie.
Not.
Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
We were talking about Earl Collins, trustee.
I was told that that was handled and that I did not need to do anything further with it. Now, I do have someone that, with the Earl Collins that would probably take over, and he has something like 46 years in Kiwanis. Ted Hart.
Ask her if she knows why didn't you have, do you know why you didn't have applications from 15 for scholarships?
I'm not understanding you.
She said that she was told it had already been handled.
Oh, for scholarships?
I understood you to say, Kathy, that you had been told the scholarships had already been handled in Division 15?
There's such an echo that it's very difficult to understand. Mary, chat me with the question and I'll be able to answer you if you would. How's that?
Yes, I am in Division 15. If I put that,
I think maybe the echo is because someone who has LinkedIn or Zoom on their computer there doesn't have it on muted. And
We're all muted here. I don't hear anything except you guys.
it's bad out here, but that's okay.
Well, I'm really sorry, but
We'll
we
live.
want, Kathleen, do you
Yes,
know why you didn't have any scholarship applications?
because we hand out 6 to 10 scholarship applications within our own area, Jessieville and Mountain Pine in Arkansas. The board did not want to submit, and we've been very low on the amount of applications that we have received. Did that answer your question?
Here, let AC say something.
Gwen Bonds, as you all know, has passed away. And her friend Jeanette Kim was the coordinator for it. They dropped it. When Gwen died, Jeanette didn't want to do any more of it. So we didn't have anyone appointed at that time, but we had this scholarship. Our club, Second Bend High School, we don't have a key club. The other club is that, the key club. So we took it over there. Some young lady filled it out. I have 3 people on the board that are retired from college educators, and they graded it, and we sent it to John, and I don't know where it went from there. Or I think we sent it to them. I didn't, but they said they did.
John,
And I said, John, I don't know.
AC.
No, I handed it to the chairman of the education committee, and they graded it, and I don't know if they kept a copy or not. I can call it and ask.
We still do that, right?
Yeah, I can find the application. We can straighten that out later. It's just somewhere.
I mean, it hurts my heart. Division without scholarship. And that's why we take money.
For what it's worth, other districts have reported low number of kids applying for scholarships.
Yeah, this has not been probably the best year.
Yeah. I don't know if key leader is a factor or what.
I believe it's more than anything the counselor. It also has a lot to do with the COVID situation. But last year we handed out 6 scholarships and we only had 6 applications. This year, we had 7 scholarships that we handed out, and we normally only hand out 6. And the reason why we handed out 7 was because 2 of the applicants from the same school were twin sisters. So we thought we better take that into
That's
account.
great. Yes, great.
And that was through your club, that was not college, that's their club.
Teachers say that because of virtual, we have a lot of trouble getting things back.
No, I picked it up, I went to school, picked up the application, so it's somewhere, we'll find it and moving right along. Are there any other questions for Ms. Barr? Mary, do you want to talk about the outreach fund?
Yes, sir. I think I gave you all a form. I didn't get a chance to send it out to you ahead of time, but it was on the table for you to pick up a copy. We are low on our outreach money. Right now, we have about 4688 that we've received from clubs, and we're only on 1 page. So that shows you that we're really low on our donations, because usually most of them come in at the beginning of the year, and then they taper off later on. And generally, what did we budget, Roy? Didn't we budget about $8,000 to get from the outreach fund? I believe we generally budget outreach. We budgeted $10,000 to get, and here we are, it's May, and we're at 4688. So I'm going to send another notice out. You generally put it in the newsletter. I generally send it out to them all the time. If you guys don't mind helping me out by passing that on to lieutenant governors, we'll talk about it tomorrow in lieutenant governor training. But, you know, could be clubs either 1, don't have it, or 2, you know, they haven't been meeting, so they haven't voted on, or they just haven't thought about sending it in. So, you know, it doesn't hurt to remind them that it's time to get some funds in. But you can see who we got money from, or the people that we normally get money from. You know, the diligent people that send that stuff out quick. So if you guys don't mind helping us out, but yeah, we have about, 4688. So any help you guys can give would be wonderful.
Thank you, Mary. Membership.
Okay, so, so I'm sad to say the clubs we've lost this year: St. Peter's, West St. Charles County, Washington, Springfield North, Benton, Branson, Tri-Lakes, Ozark area, and Texarkana so far. So and that's one of the reasons that we need to open new clubs, is to replace clubs that we've lost. I don't know if any of you know any of those clubs, if there's any hope for them we can go back and reclaim the charter for up to 2 years, provided they pay all the money they owe, and that they have 15 active members on the rolls. But other than that, we cannot reclaim the charter. We do have club revitalization plans for Chillicothe on June 14th. One of the things that we need to do, Mary, is probably have another call with them and go over some things. Training opportunities. We have had training opportunities for certified coaches. And Brad just told me we had 3 people sign up, but only 1 attend. Is that right, Brad?
That's correct. And throughout North America, we've had 598 that have been trained.
One of the things about certified coaches training is that it's my understanding that when we open a new club, the coaches have to be certified coaches. We can't open a club. So this is going to become more and more important. So I don't know how long that will be the case, but that is the case right now. Also, if we apply for a grant from Kiwanis International for new club opening, and actually we only had one this year, and that's II, but it could only be certified coaches if a grant wouldn't be approved. So we're going to have training for the coaches to become certified coaches as part of the Blitz. Our new club building goal, I think we had 5.
How many coaches do you have?
I sent that out and I don't remember.
I did send it on. It's probably on my computer, but it's over there.
Okay, I think it's about 30.
30?
We had a really good, there have been 2 opportunities. I did one just in MOARK, and I did one for all of Area 3. But the person who went to the last training was Becky Panchuk, and she had been to the first one and missed a few minutes, and so she's so diligent that she redid it to make up for what she missed.
How often do you have to be recertified? Because I can tell you, I did take coaches training, but I don't know if it's actually. Yeah, how long does your certification last?
You mean
Forever?
no, but the people that were trained this year are still valid. And you're talking about the training you took in December?
No, I was talking about that was really why I did it in December, because I had taken it 5 years.
Yeah, no, I think this lasts for 2 years. But the one that we did 5 years ago was formula, which is a little different, and also we learned some things, not much, but something. So our new club building goal was 5. We have 1 new club. I am actually leaving here early to go back so that I can drive to Illinois. I'm participating in 5 Blitz in Illinois, partly to help them, but also partly that if we want to do the Blitz, that can get people from Illinois to come help us. But
we have 25 certified coaches in MOARK.
okay, and the training from last Saturday won't help because that's already on there. So go ahead.
And actually, our goal for this year is 4.
Next year it's 5. Okay, so we need 3 more this year. One thing that I have learned this past week, I've been, whenever I had time, making calls for appointments in II, and surprisingly, people are not turning this down. They're saying, yes, come in, you have to wear a mask, you have to stop the protocol, you have to take your temperature, but you can come and I will meet you. So that, I think that's because of the easing of the CDC, but, so Martha, so Carla, we can full speed ahead in Manchester. When we get back, I hope. But we do need to, AC, is you still going to like in Little Rock? So we probably need to start on that, and then we need 1 more to replace. We thought we had Lamar, and that has fallen through, so we need 1 more to replace Lamar. That's revitalization.
Oh, but what if there's, where are you talking about? Manchester, you talking about? She said Manchester. It's supposed to be town and country Manchester.
Right, 1 together, or maybe we'll have enough for 2. That'd be great. And then the KI membership incentive program. And thank you for Carla. I assume who did this, because I didn't know all this. And you part of
I
it?
thought I got that from you.
No. I knew part of it, but I didn't know all of it. But there is this is.
You know what, that came out from KI, and I thought you would have seen it.
Oh,
So I just went on to print out, maybe
Good.
Brad can explain the whole membership incentive program.
yeah, Brad, can you explain the fourth quarter membership program?
Is that the one that is targeted at lieutenant governors?
It's the one that
Yeah, it's our, oh, for the fourth quarter. The third quarter is for the lieutenant governors. Yeah. Fourth
No.
is, I think, whichever
Brad, it's
district has
May.
the most new member ads.
Brad, the one for lieutenant governors is May. So
Right,
this
that's
is,
the third quarter. That's third
Yeah.
quarter.
so
Yep.
can you tell us more about this one on fourth quarter?
All I know is what they've published out there. He sort of does his own thing. So all I know is it's predicated on who brings in the most members, the district.
Okay, so this says there are 4 incentives.
Right?
KI will introduce the top 2 divisions in each district that open at least 2 new clubs during fourth quarter or achieves at least a 5% net increase in membership during the fourth quarter. And
Yeah.
lieutenant governors will get a $100 gift card to the Kiwanis store.
Correct.
So I don't know if they'll share that with the club openers or not. Anyway, incentive 2 is from the recipients of incentive 1, KI will award 1 full registration to the 2022 International Convention to the lieutenant governor. So these are all targeted on to the lieutenant governors. To the
Right.
lieutenant governor achieve the highest percentage membership during the fourth quarter. That must be membership growth.
Yes. The
Incentive 3,
lieutenant governor one, to my knowledge, that's I'm the one that proposed that. And that's the first time that we've really had an incentive targeted at lieutenant governors. So whichever one does it, they didn't think at first they could make the arrangements to get them out to Salt Lake City, but then Mike Down said he could work it out. So hopefully we'll have a
that's the lieutenant governor in May.
Yeah, that's the lieutenant governor one for third quarter.
Right, okay. So this one is fourth quarter. And then incentive 3, AC, KI will award both the governor and district membership coordinator, oh, we want this one, $100 gift card and full registration to the 2022 International Convention. If the new club opens met and the district achieves net growth this year.
Yes.
Okay, incentive 4, the top 2 governors with greatest net growth for the 2021 will receive 2 complimentary tickets to different events at the 2022 International Convention.
Right.
And then district membership that achieves 66% of the club's new club opening goals by May 31st will receive a gift card from the Kiwanis store. So we've achieved 25% so far. May membership month incentive is the top 20 lieutenant governors who make membership a priority during May will be nice for their efforts with a $75 gift card to the Kiwanis family store. Greatest percentage of growth, the lieutenant governor gets free registration to Salt Lake City. So those are the incentives that Kiwanis International has in place.
And Barb, the other thing to note is that the board has extended for another year that any clubs open during October or September, October count for both the current governor and the next governor. So it'd count for both AC and Carla.
Great. But the numbers, September for AC and the numbers in October go to the number of members. So, okay, that's great. Any questions on membership?
Still, market possibility, you start from scratch. They would have to do it. Nevertheless, they feel
Will they be members? Will they join?
They probably would go. Talk to the candidates and all that.
That's great. Okay, so.
I think it would help. I know you probably.
Yeah, I think they probably would. I think the biggest thing is getting something.
Well, you're working on that.
I requested that they be involved with that. I think, well, Bill showed it to one meeting.
Yeah, I think once we get it going, they might participate because it will be easy to do actually. Mary, have you heard that they'll,
I heard they closed. Yeah, Katie told me that they all went to, they moved to Bentonville. Is that correct? Bella Vista. Bella Vista.
You're muted, you're muted.
You're muted. You're muted.
Katie, we can see your mouth, but you're muted.
Can you not read my lips? Read my,
Pretty good job of it, but
they were to merge with Bentonville is what I understood from Sue's story.
right.
I don't think they show up yet.
I'm sorry?
They do not show up on the report yet as charter revoked.
Well, I don't know where the status of that is, but just as soon as I'm elected lieutenant governor, I'll find out.
So.
Or before if you need me to.
So we need to add that to the list, Mary.
Oh, I thought I had, okay. I'll add it.
Not yet show that list.
Okay, we had Branson Tri-Lakes is coming off, and we were told by KI that Branson was a growth area that we ought to be looking at. So are we gonna try to do Branson and redo that, or do they owe a bunch of money that we can't afford to renew theirs?
I have them highlighted on the sheet.
Yeah, but they weren't on this list, or did I?
Oh, I just put them as charter revoked. Oh, I didn't put them on the list that they'd already closed. Sorry.
And I think downtown Rogers also needs to be on the list. I think you got it. So, Carla, what I think we're gonna do is make that for your year. Yeah.
Need to keep Branson in mind, and we have something from last, just a minute.
But, yeah, Brad sent out some information of our two city area, Branson, the highest growth area, it's growing 35%.
That one after Quad Club.
Same thing that happens. So.
I try to yell.
They don't.
Yeah, that's the problem with Branson. This is the second club in Branson that has failed, and the growth is primarily senior citizens, if you will. And having worked with both Branson clubs, that's been the problem. The last one that just now went under, we were able to get they were a good fundraising service project to get the interest. And then once that was over with, then it just went down and down. But I have another question. Do you want to announce the charter night of Cedar County?
Yes, thank you. So Cedar County is out.
Barbara, hang on, nobody can hear you. Okay.
So Cedar County is the one club that we do have open, and they are going to have their charter ceremony, when they receive the charter on June 5th. And they have chosen to have it at 2:00 in the afternoon. And I'm sure that they did that so that people could drive in, attend the ceremony, and drive home all in one day, so they don't have to get a hotel room, although you can. It's been sponsored by the Bolivar Club. Both the coaches went through coaches training, and so, you know, we're very happy. 19 members, and I'm very excited about the work that they are going to do. And there being one thing that happened, this was not a service project they had planned, but they're on a discussion group on Facebook, or some of the members are. And the discussion on the Facebook group was, our roads are so dirty. There's so much trash. People are throwing trash on the roads. We need a highway cleanup. So guess what the Kiwanis Club's going to do? Highway cleanup. And that, you know, that's the way we should
That's
be
cool.
to what the community says we need. So I'm really proud of them.
Bravo.
And so we'll send that out again to the lieutenant governors and the trustees so that you know how to sign up for the lunch, and also that you can send gifts. I thought I might want to say something else.
Thank you, Ms. Barr. We're going to take, guys and gals, we're going to take about a 10-minute break. Brad Boyd, if you can hear me, when we come back, I'm going to ask you to make a few comments for the international. Will you do that?
Okay, I'd be glad to.
Thank you. We'll give you about 10 minutes.
Okay.
I mentioned, Barb mentioned about gifts for the Cedar County Club. At our club meeting yesterday, we voted to give them $200, just to let you know, in a matter of, I have a gong that was left over from the Nixon Club that I'm going to take and give to them, since Chaos didn't furnish a gong anymore.
They will love that.
Yeah, they're aware of it.
Oh, good. Awesome.
10 minutes.
Yes, it does. She got one. Yeah. 1 year old.
That she said she
His Wild West country down here. I am, and Brian can't be there that day. Right? Yeah, I thought he would fly to everybody. He can't be here that day. Right. He's gonna be there right before Ryan's on vacation. So, what happens today, most people could go in. Patty's gonna be here tomorrow. Well, John's getting ready to leave, or he's gonna be gone. Hey, John, you're staying for dinner tonight, aren't you? Well, when Patty gets here, we want to brainstorm a little bit on Chillicothe, because Brian, who's the president of Chillicothe, is not going to be able to be here on the 14th of June. Yes. your one and
I
five?
got 1 and 5.
It's Dooley. It's Bill Dooley.
Now, sometimes it's not that far away.
Yes, it's Bill. And Bill told us so well. I'd rather, I'd like you to help if you can. We're looking at going to Chillicothe and doing a club revitalization on June 14th. No, we're thinking June 14th might not work because Brian, that's right. Brian Zimmer, who's president of Chillicothe, is going to be on the team. And his boss, working at part of it. His boss is negative now. We sat there and had a Zoom call and Brian, you know, we're trying to go, oh, we can do blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, well, you know, when somebody throws roadblocks at you, every time you come up with an idea, you're like, yeah, he ain't gonna do it.
I found the vision. It came around Robin Hood's barn, from Susan the Farm, after she got back from Texas.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. That is LaFond is the mom. Where is she on Zoom today? Hey, Katie, everybody's on break here.
So Katie, here's your old buddy Mary. So, oh God, go down.
You all right?
Yeah, I was trying to get that down so I could sit on it. So I don't understand why there's an echo, unless it's the sound system in this room.
It's gotta be, it's, and it's only, I kept thinking maybe there's more than one mic. Is there more than one mic on the table?
No,
Then
I
don't know
listen,
what it is.
I listen for that. If I hear somebody else going off, now it could be, you know, they mute it, but everybody's muted. So that shouldn't be an issue.
That shouldn't be an issue, and nobody's on Zoom that's there. Don was earlier, but he was muted. So I don't know what it is, but it's really echoey, and maybe they don't hold the mic right up close to their mouth.
I think that's it. And I think that because it's a sound system in the walls or in the ceiling, it could be echoing off of each other.
It could be. And all I'm saying about it is I can figure out enough to stay on, and I've got to leave at 3 anyway, but to show a house. But it's just validation to me that we can't try to pull off same time.
Well, it's going to be extremely difficult to be able, the only downside that we need to really discuss, and we probably need to do a chat here in the next week or so, is how to do the House of Delegates. That to me is going to be difficult because my concern is, are we going to have enough clubs represented to have a quorum?
Well, I think when registrations start to come in, we could pull the board or poll the board and talk about doing the past governor's deal. Or if we're bound to dial in, if we're just doing the business, and if we train our speakers to get on the mic and how to hold it, well, we be able to do House of Delegates, don't you think?
We can do election buddy. And then that way we could get people on Zoom, and they could, if they don't come to the meeting in person, then we could get them to vote via election buddy. Then we would know, you know, who voted for who, you know, who voted.
That's a great idea. Yeah. And the other thing about that is it's just that one session, you know, we're not trying to have the education sessions be mixed where that would go off rails, as we said in the past.
I think I agree with your idea that we record the education sessions and then we can just play them back at a later time for the people that can't make it. But then if somebody can Zoom in on Saturday for the House of Delegates, then at least we can record that and with Zoom, you can tell who's on. You know,
can
with
tell-
Zoom, they have to come in and you'll know who's on Zoom and
Yeah.
we'll know who's certified.
Good
We'll
idea.
work.
Yeah, but I think it's good we're thinking about it, because in a big room, what the challenge is, I think you're right, it's speakers. It's gotta be. That's very smart of you to think that.
You know, what's interesting is this is really not a real extravagant hotel. The rooms are pretty, you know, basic. But this hall is big enough, it could hold one of our conventions.
Yeah, well, that's good to know.
There's a room over here. We have 2 rooms here. There's another room over there. So
Wow.
this opens up into a really big space. So
Well,
we
maybe
actually,
that's a thought for after we go to Jonesboro.
yeah,
or
we could actually, no, we gotta go to University Plaza.
Yeah.
But we could do it in Branson. The only problem in Branson is traffic. I forgot.
Traffic, eating out, and other people, yeah. But I'll be there tomorrow, so I'll look it over with you.
Yeah, and we can discuss it. I'm gonna go potty.
Okay. Pretend you didn't hear that, Ralph. You're laughing.
I'm sorry, my wife just came in and told a funny joke.
Oh, we
Yeah, I
thought
didn't
you were
hear
laughing at us.
I was really.
That's what I thought.
I'm trying to
Nice
make
of you to try to cover it, though.
I've been married a long time, covering up from your
Oh,
arrow.
yeah.
Ah,
I couldn't do it. That's why I'm single.
well, gosh, I tell
I'm
you what.
kidding. I've been married a lot, but now I'm not.
No, I can understand that. I've been married a time or so. So,
Yeah, well, I don't mean a lot. I mean a lot of years.
oh,
Yeah, a lot of years, but sometimes life changes.
yes, I know. I lost my wife
Yeah.
13 years ago, and after 40 years. So, yeah,
My goodness, how wonderful you found someone else to love.
I know, and I guess probably better to say it's nice that I found someone that can put up with me. I think that's
Probably. I was not going to say that.
no, it's okay though. You have my permission to speak because she tells me that all the time. I'm lucky.
Well,
Yeah, I lost
hopefully-
my first wife
Oh,
in '97, and so Barb and I found each other again. We were high school sweethearts.
oh, how wonderful. I hear about that often.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's grand.
So now we're celebrating our 20th anniversary.
Oh, my goodness. What a blessing.
We're doing it for about 5 years. We decided to make a long celebration.
Oh, I think that's good. Why rush through it, right?
Exactly.
Well, I'm going to go up tomorrow for Lieutenant Governor training, but I'm lollygagging at home today. Because I got to go show a house in a minute. I'm a realtor, so.
Work, work, work. Huh?
Well, you know, you have to jump when they say go, because around here, I don't know what it's like where you two are, but around here it's crazy because there's multiple offers on every house. They're going for way above asking price. It's just.
Where are you? Where are you? Where are you?
Palm Springs, Arkansas.
Oh, Silent Springs. I normally live in Russellville, and up here in Colorado, they put it on the market and it's sold
Yeah.
within a day or maybe within hours.
Yes, you get a first offer an hour or two after you show it. I mean, hour or two after you list it, because somebody goes and looks at it, unless you list it at midnight, you know?
I don't know what's going on, but I love it. I mean, that's why I came out here instead of staying there to be live tomorrow to the convention for the lieutenant governors. I came out here because I have some property that I want to get it ready and get it sold because
Yeah.
they're paying way too much for it out here.
Well, and this is the deal. My one client that I showed one house this morning, put his on the market yesterday, had 12 showings yesterday, has 14 showings today. He's down here and I'm showing him a house that's not on the market yet, hoping he can pay cash for it before it goes up crazy. And he says, well, I guess I got to have at least 5,000 more than the asking price to get it. And that's without putting it on the market, but he's expecting his to be under a contract. He lives near, out in one of the little towns around Denver. So it's big out there. And you know, if you need a referral for an agent out there, let me know. I'll find you someone.
I will do that. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do or who I'm going to use.
Well, if
sold
you know some, yeah.
well, I had a guy and sold some last year, and it took it back then. It took a year, but my price was so high, it took a while to do it because the markets had not come up here. Now, what I sold that one for, they're selling condos for the same thing.
Yeah.
Mine was a house with dirt, and a condo. It's amazing.
It
Which
is
town are
amazing,
you
and
in?
it's a shortage.
I've been to Ray, Colorado.
Okay.
Yeah, I live in Russellville, Arkansas. 6 months out of 6 months, and so anyway, it's just crazy up here. I mean, with the selling, and I don't think Russellville's quite as hot as or you are.
I think I just got a package delivered. The other thing that's happening is across the country, because they're building, supplies for builders have skyrocketed 200%. And there's just a shortage of property. People can't sell because they have nowhere to go. You know, where would you go if you sold your house? You'd have to take everything you made to buy a house and pay more for it than it might be worth in 5 years. So that's my realtor spiel.
Well, the things up here are selling for over $1 million now. I mean, just a normal house in this town is over $1 million. And you know, if you could take that and move back to Arkansas, I don't know about up north, but I mean, you can actually end up buying a house for 400 or 300.
Yeah. Well, that's what these people will do coming from Colorado. But I mean, if you're just trying to, if you're a couple who's outgrown your house, you got a couple of kids and you want a bigger house, everything you make, even at an inflated price, will be needed to step up one, you know.
There's no question. You are right on that.
Yeah, you're blessed in the sense of having a house or two.
Yeah, my son writes songs, and I told him, I said, son, I got a song for you to write. And he said, what's the name of it? I said, well, let me tell you how it goes first. I said, you got to make it a country song. It's got to be a little bit cheating wife, maybe, and a dog that's dying. And he said, I can do that. I said, okay. He said, I said, I got the title for it already. He said, what's that? I said, it ain't what you own that kills you. It's the maintenance on what you own that kills you. That's why when you said that made me think
That's true.
He says, I can't find anything to rhyme with maintenance, but that's what it is, having a couple, 3 houses and stuff. It's a constant.
Well, I'm going to mute myself while the barking goes on. It will stop.
Ralph, we've got a house right here next to us that just sold. It was the only house in our zip code that is at this price range. The only house. And they had probably 15 offers on it.
Wow. And where are you?
Kansas City address, Lee Summit, Missouri School District. So it's in a little corner of Kansas City that people want to live in, because if they're forced to live in Kansas City, like firefighters and all those, they can still go out to the school district that they like.
And I will tell you, they're going over appraised value, and they're writing in the contract, I will pay the price even if it doesn't appraise.
Right.
That's not the way I negotiate. I'll be honest with you. I always negotiate to get them down, but in this market today, I mean, it's like they got bidding wars for it, and I don't understand that because I've never seen that before.
It's
this
crazy.
This house did a bidding war, and we walked past today the appraiser, and well, the inspector, excuse me, and he was just shaking his head. He said, "This is a perfect house." They had 15 people, and they were all bidding. Up and up and up and up.
Guys, can you guys hear us? We're going to start that. And we're going to skip number 7 right now, and I'll come back to you later. We're going to ask Brad Ball, our liaison, I guess we call him, from International, to give us a little pep talk. Brad, are you ready?
Yes, sir. Yes, thank you so much. I just want to first off, just thank all of you for your continued leadership during some turbulent times. Hopefully we're getting those shots in our arms and herd immunity, and they're finally unmasking us. So I think we are all bullishly optimistic that we might get back to a new abnormal. I don't think we'll ever get back to normal, but we'll make it a new abnormal. And so actually our membership numbers, Barb and I were discussing this the other day, are looking fairly good. I think the club growth is continued to be pretty good in the Asia Pacific countries. Our new district of Nepal has just been growing like wildfire. And we've opened several clubs in Africa as well. So we're pleased. North America, I think Jeff Otis reported that it's pacing about the 4th in the last 20 years. So considering there's a worldwide pandemic, we want to knock on wood, but we hope that perhaps the numbers aren't going to be as bad as some people were hanging crepe over earlier in the year. And just wanted to mention the Children's Fund. We're still collecting on pledges for the Eliminate project, but we're not really talking about it as the Eliminate project. And so they're sort of regrouping with Pam Norman taking over from Ann Updegraff-Spleth. And I guess our biggest concern is probably our SLPs. As a former Key Clubber and CKI member, I know that the pandemic has really taken a toll on those two organizations. I know that Michelle Studi Campbell and her team, they're planning, I think it's still called Homecoming. They were thinking about maybe coming up with a different name, but the last I heard, it's still Homecoming. And so we're hoping that we can really put a lot of emphasis on bringing back our SLP programs this next year. So, and beyond that, I will just say that Carla has been a superstar in terms of we've been having monthly calls with all of her peers from our area after after governor-elect training, and she has proven herself to be a valuable asset. And so we think that between she and Peter Mancuso next year, we're really hopeful that we can really make some even more good things happen. But beyond that, I just want to thank AC for carrying on and getting back from his health challenge, and our prayers have been with you. And I'm just so pleased that you're there at the helm again. And as always, we rely on Mary and thank her so much for her work on behalf of your district, being the glue that holds you all together. So if you have any questions or anything, I'd be glad to answer it, but that's just a quick overview from KI.
Want to have a question for Brad? If not, Katie, I turned the page and I see that you're supposed to talk about the convention. Is there anything else you want to say?
Did you guys forget what I told you already? Because I can talk about it again.
Well, look at our age, we probably did.
Well,
If
stay
not-
tuned for updates. How's that?
All right, that'd be good. You can make a good update tomorrow. Okay, moving right on. Mary Bond is going to talk about the International Education and Leadership.
Well, we're slowly taking registration in. If you signed up for Amplify, you need to let them know when you can do the in-person educational session in Salt Lake City. If you're not going to Salt Lake City, you could probably do it at any time, but they have 3 times available for in-person for the capstone, which is June 23rd in the morning, June 23rd in the afternoon, and then I think it's the 25th, Friday the 25th in the afternoon. So is the first one full now? I haven't went out to check that. I put my recommendations in, but I have not heard whether I made the first one or not. But if you haven't put them in already, hopefully we'll have the majority of our people either in the morning or the afternoon of the 23rd. And then also, the district dinner, I'm probably going to see if anyone wants to go in with, there's a group of districts that are going together for district dinner on the 23rd in the evening. If anyone would like to go to that, I'll make sure I get information out to you all. But I'm going to try to set something up for us to get together. I'm just not sure. I haven't looked at the schedule to see when other activities are going on that KI may be sponsoring. But we can, are they doing the opening session on Thursday evening like they've done it in the past? Barb, do you know?
There is something Thursday.
There is something. I figured there was something Thursday night, but anyway, I'll look at the schedule and see what's open. In case people don't come in on Tuesday and they wait till Wednesday, I'd like to do something. Well, I guess Wednesday is the 23rd. So some people don't come in until Thursday, but I'll look at the schedule and see what we can put together for dinner. It's probably not going to be a big crowd of us like it has in the past, so. Okay, then we'll just merge in with the districts that are already doing something. We can just go with that because they've got reservations already set. So I'll just give that information and let you guys know what it is. So it'll be Wednesday, the 23rd. It's probably not Wednesday because I'm sure that that's something that we, they would be working around. But I'll let you guys know. I'll find out more information. But anyway, I don't know how many people are planning on going, but I hope there's a nice contingent. Salt Lake City is a beautiful city, and I think that you all will enjoy it. So hopefully you sign up, come. Brad, do you know when we'll find out what session we got into in the capstone for Amplify? Brad?
That just opened up this last week, so I think Lindsay's organizing those now. So I would guess that you'll probably hear next week about whether you got your choice.
Okay.
I think you'll all get in, any of those that are in attendance in person will do it, but then we also are scheduling a few for all the online participants in July.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
The way we're going, we might get out here early, so I'm going to talk real slow.
Oh, no. The new business.
Well, right here is the new business, and the first thing on it is Ralph McCormick.
Oh, my
Ralph,
God.
it's your program. Take off. You on mute. Can you unmute yourself?
I'm kind of new at this stuff, so forgive me. But thank you for allowing me this time to present some information and questions to the board. I rejoined Kiwanis in February of this year and was immediately given the honor of being Lieutenant Governor for a second time. It wasn't exactly what I had planned, but it was something that has been tremendously amount of fun. When I took the position, only 2 of the 7 clubs in District 20 were meeting. Now we have 5 out of the 7 meeting. That's after about two and a half months. I couldn't have done it without the help of all of you that have been so instrumental in doing and providing me with information and everything that I needed to do this. And I'm going to be speaking to the Lieutenant Governors tomorrow. I need your assistance. Try to figure out, okay, what can we do? What kind of ammunition can we give them to go home with? I can tell them what I did. And I did find that one of the things that was probably the most threatening to the clubs was when they got the statement saying that, you owe $1,800 in past dues. And I took off on a search of how to avoid that. And my first thing that I tried to do was to get Kiwanis International and Missouri to forgive for for the clubs that are hurting the worst, to help turn it around. That didn't work out very well, but I still hope that there is something that MOARK can set an example, maybe forgive the $20 or talk to the people at KI to see what the possibility would be there. That's the biggest part. Now KI did come down, and it was like, with one club, it was $776. And they were able to find that money that they could do it with. But so many of these people have not been collecting anything. It's a real stickler when you're trying to bring a club right side up after it's upside down. So that's one of the things that I didn't have an answer to. And there is the forgiving of some of it because the no meeting members, but even then you may have $300 to $700 required of KI and MOARK. So I was just saying, the best thing that would help me would be to tell them that there is something that out there that will save the, $1,800, $400, $700, whatever it comes down to keep these clubs going. I'm of the opinion that it's easier to reflip a club, having done it, having worked very diligently at it. I think you can. I think the lieutenant governors have the ability to bring a new club, bring an old club that has 95 years, 65 years of life preceding this closure by COVID. And in some cases, in my particular one, they hadn't had a lieutenant governor for 5 years. So there's a lot more causes to what I ran into than what some of the other will run into. But each person just has to, lieutenant governor has to do what they feel. What I like to do is be able to give them power, surge of energy, and give them some ammo to take back home with them. The suggestion is a little bit outside of the box, but I think it's one of the things that would help the lieutenant governors to do a better job, knowing that they didn't have to go to them and say, you still owe $500 or something like that. There's about 36% of our clubs that are in suspension are at risk. I suspect that's now I say are, meaning MOARK, and I suspect that's probably, Kiwanis International has the same problem. I'm a firm believer that my rule is lose no clubs. I believe that if we could generate enthusiasm into the lieutenant governors and make them understand that it's not a war zone out there. You have just little bitty bumps in the road. And, the time I've been trying to get another club started in Russellville. So you can do 2 or 3 things at one time, multitasking. And that's what I want to know from you. If you have any suggestions that you can provide to me before tomorrow or after tomorrow, I would love to do it because I'm a firm believer in Kiwanis. I love it. It has been an instrument in my life that like no other, I would say, other than God. But I would say the things that I do out of love. And I understand sometimes that my thinking outside the box can cause some hard feelings. I don't mean to do that. I was given a mission to bring these clubs, 7 of them, back to life. And I've got 5 working now and meeting, and I have 2 that I'm still working on. But if you can give me any advice or any sort of helping to give to the lieutenant governor tomorrow, you have access to my phone number, you have access to my email, and I will do anything to make my job that I inherited of saving clubs come back and make them come back. I like working with those people that are upside down because they want help. A lot of them do, some don't. So anyway, I appreciate you listening to my request. I do seriously want information, and I want to make sure that, you know, my division will never go without a lieutenant governor again. I promise you that. I will do everything. If I have to do another lieutenant governor, I've got one following me now. I'm not worried about this coming year, but you know, in future, if I'm still alive and kicking, then I'll be happy to provide more lieutenant governor services. It's an honor to be able to say that I'm a Kiwanian and a lieutenant governor. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer.
Ralph, I wish we had more like you.
Well, thank you.
I
Thank
was a
you.
lieutenant governor this last year myself, and I can feel your pain. I'll say from KI's perspective real quick that I think you know that you know, some of the charges that clubs haven't paid are for SLP programs. So they could maybe contact KI, and if those schools have frozen out their after school activities and those clubs have been dormant, the SLP clubs, then I think they're waiving those dues. So you might check on that front. And then beyond that, any club dues, our finance department has been doing a pretty good job of working out payment plans. So you might check on that as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. I made some notes on that.
So, Ralph, I just wanted to go over what the Kiwanis International is normally willing to do is if some of the dues that are owed were for people who should have been dropped but were not dropped, Kiwanis International, and that is what they did with Clarksville, will allow you, you to retroactively drop those people and not pay for them. But it has to be people that should have been dropped and weren't dropped. And the other thing is that for just to piggyback on what Brad said about SLP, if any of the SLPs that were not active, well, Key Club and Circle K that were not active, if the sponsor of the club or the secretary of the club that sponsors them notifies Kiwanis International that they are COVID, they are not meeting because of COVID, they will be coded active COVID and they won't have to pay anything this year. So that those are two things that'll help.
Correct.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Bob.
Ralph and I have been discussing this on and off for the last, gosh, how many months? The last few months.
Yeah.
And he has really worked with these clubs and he has really tried to get them to see that some of these clubs just don't want to really realize that some of their problems are they induce them themselves. But KI has been very understanding and trying to work with these clubs. And I really think it comes down to getting them back to meeting, getting them back to remember why they joined Kiwanis. But Ralph, thank you for everything you've done. And you know, I don't mind you calling me at, 10 o'clock at night. We can discuss this many times. So thank you for all you do, Ralph.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you. You've been very, very helpful, as have the rest of you.
Bravo.
Has done is let the club know they have an advocate.
Right. Yes. Ralph, Barb wanted you to know that the clubs know they have an advocate in you. If you're working for them, going to try to rebel, and I'm a little bit jealous or upset just a tad. Mary won't let me call after but I appreciate what you're doing, and I know you're working hard for Kiwanis, and we're going to get this thing resolved. Just hang with us. If anyone else have a comment they want to give Ralph, other than thank you. Okie dokie, we're going to move right on, folks. Bylaws. Mary.
Well, one of the things that we need to do as a district based on KI's recommendation is to, and I thought I had that here in front of me, but I guess I don't. Oh, thank you. Is to change our bylaws because starting in October, they will no longer charge new member fees. It will become down to dues. And new members will get charged dues, but they'll get charged at a prorated rate. So they want us to change our bylaws to match theirs. And I put in your packet what they want it to say. And all it's going to say is prorated dues shall be charged for each new member of a club on the same prorated schedule used by Kiwanis International. That's all we have to say. We don't have to say $20 because our dues are $20. Now, they don't want us to put the schedule in there and approve the schedule because it may change, adjust up and down depending on fees in the future. But that's all we really need to change in the bylaws. So I recommend that we take this to the House of Delegates at our convention and get them to change that so that KI is able to prorate our dues as well as their dues. And I don't think it's a choice. I don't think we have a choice to say, no, we don't want them to prorate our dues. They're going to, which is fine. And they've got a schedule set up. So hopefully we can remember what that schedule is as we tell people what new member dues are. Yeah, it's broken down. Right, 10% off slowly after that. But I think I put that, I think I sent that out to you, but I don't have a copy of it in front of me.
It's actually 112.
112 each month, so it breaks down after. Well, it's the same though for the first 3 months, I believe.
No, I heard the last was the first 3 months.
I thought I put that in your packet.
You got 2019 total, and then you got the anticipated new proration schedule, which is the flow.
This one is.
Brad, what is the most recent of the dues change, prorated dues starting in October? I thought I sent that out to everybody. Here it is, never mind. The prorated dues, it starts out October is full. November, it does break all down into 12 each month. So October is full and then it breaks down each month thereafter. Oh, you know what? Here it is. Here, it's back here. I take it back. That wasn't it. Here it is. It's on the anticipated, so it's under Exhibit A. What I sent out to you, it's on the back page of that before you get to the bylaw change. And it does October. It is the same one. I'm sorry. It's in blue. It's 12. Yeah, it's not 10% because the first one was 10%, but now it's in 12. I'm confused as much as anybody, but they have their own prorated scale, so we'll just go by that for what we'll be charging for dues starting October the 1st. And one other thing that was brought to my attention by Roy, and apparently I missed it when we did the bylaw change last year, that I'm going to say I neglected to take out the line in a trustee had to be a past lieutenant governor. They do not have to be a past lieutenant governor in order to be a trustee. It states that in the do you have that with you, Roy? I think I have all this paper and then I don't have any paper. Apparently I missed this. Roy sent this out last year when we were changing this, and he gladly pointed this out to me. Under section 2, under article 3, officers, section 2, each district shall be an active member in a each district officer shall be an active member in a club of the district. Each lieutenant governor shall be a member of a club in the division from which elected, and each trustee shall be a member of a club in the region from which elected. And right now, currently, it goes on to state and have previously served as a lieutenant governor. But to keep up with KI, that line needs to come out so that they don't have to have served as a lieutenant governor in order to serve as a trustee. So we would take that line out and it would just end, trustees shall be a member of a club in the region from which elected.
Lieutenant Governor,
Well, and we could change that to include that.
I think so, because
Oh, Brad, is there anything in KI's bylaws that would negate us from being able to put that in our bylaws that says a lieutenant governor could serve another district or division rather than the one that they're a member of? Ouch. Are you there? He's probably looking, he's looking. Brad, we can't hear you. There you are.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, I'm not aware. I don't think there would be anything, but you'd be best to double check with Diana O'Brien.
Okay. Well, if you guys are in agreement to that, I can check with Diana and get that out to you, what verbiage we can actually put in there to let you all know. But I agree. I think we should. Okay, good. KI bylaw says each district officer shall. That's Brad. Are you out there, Brad? No,
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
yeah, we can hear you now. So KI's bylaw says, section 4, each district officer shall be an active member in good standing of a club in good standing of the district. And each lieutenant governor shall be a member of a club in the division from which elected, and each trustee shall be a member of a club in the region from which elected. Each candidate for the office of governor, governor-elect, vice governor also shall have a clear criminal history background check conducted and verified by Kiwanis International. So nowhere in KI's bylaws does it say that, but I know that that's something they've been discussing. Brad? I know you're probably traveling.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not where I can look up the bylaws or whatever, but we've had in some other districts where we haven't been able to find a lieutenant governor, and we've recruited someone that's maybe only 10 or 15 miles away in another division to come over and sort of act as a surrogate lieutenant governor. So
Do we need to change our bylaws to reflect that?
yeah, I don't know if the KI one says it has to be from that. I would say that
It does say that. We have it right here in front of us.
yeah, then I would say that I don't know that the district can change it if KI is mandating it, but I think informally it's just like it says that the lieutenant governor should be elected, and lately I don't see too many elections going on.
Yeah, it's like if you're breathing and you have a pulse, you're in. Okay, Well, I can check into that with Diana and with maybe some of these other districts that have done that and see what they have going on. But
Yeah.
but since we're going to have a bylaws change, I recommend we change the bylaws to also take out that the trustee has to be a past lieutenant governor, if that's okay with you all. And then if there's a way we can word the bylaws that KI is happy with, to say that a lieutenant governor could serve serve in a different division rather than the one that they're a member of. Is that right? Eric Roy.
Well, I think we have, the board last year did vote to delete that phrase. Shall have been a.
What, Fred?
I was going to say, especially in this age of COVID, now that we've discovered Zoom, I think there's going to be more of that going on, where you'll even have, club coaches that may not be in the next town over. They may be across the state or in a different state in the district. So I think you do not have to be a club president to be a lieutenant governor. So I would think it would stand to reason that a trustee wouldn't necessarily have to have been, a club president or a lieutenant governor, whatever your thing says.
Lieutenant governor.
Yeah.
Okay, last year, this board voted the bylaws change that was made, and it included taking out the trustee had to be a past lieutenant governor. What happened though is we didn't get it into the version that the council passed. So what I'm asking you to do is to authorize another bylaw submission to try to do that the right way this time, including that deletion from our bylaws. I don't think we can resolve the other issue, at least not if KI bylaws say that we can't. So that's all I'm asking the board to do here.
Right.
But it still has to go to the House of Delegates.
There's one clarification, vacancy in office. The term one officer less remaining a qualified from a club in the same division or region shall be elected.
Where's that?
Yeah, vacancy.
Article 8.
Yeah, I'll get the rest of that.
So we may not need to worry about that.
Yeah,
But that's only talking about vacancy.
yeah.
All right. That's as clear as mud. Don, a quick question.
Who's rated? Do we need to include this waiver for SFPs?
No, it's already in, we have the waiver already in there for SLPs. We're already waiving it.
Okay.
No, I looked that over too.
I just want to make sure that's still in.
No, it's okay. All right, but that's for vacancy, not.
Right. But it's a temporary basis.
Right.
If we're gonna rewrite it for the convention, can we not say what that says and to follow the current KI guidelines, so that anytime KI would make a change, we wouldn't have to change
Well, I say
our bylaws?
we just add another, section that says, KI bylaws supersede our bylaws or whatever. we would think to say. So that, get another section.
I think just the way you have it is good,
But then just to say,
but to say to follow whatever the current KI guidelines are.
Whenever you say what it says, all the same.
so it is, it's true. And you're right. It says we're gonna follow the same, use back to 179. So if they change, it, we change.
But then what if they change it away from prorated again?
They don't have to worry about
Okay, Barb.
I have a question on the statement above the proration schedule. Prorated is next insurance or wage for Kiwanis Club members who join another Kiwanis Club within a 6-month period. During the same administrative year. Can you do that?
Where did they have Barbara?
It's under, it's right above the 2 proration schedules.
On the back page.
Under a good day on page 4.
Uh-huh.
Those prorated dues next and insurance are waived for Kiwanis Club members who join another Kiwanis Club within a 6-month period. Do you do that?
I don't know, I'll have to look, I don't know if he updated that.
I think we probably will have to take this up at our next board meeting. It's not mandatory that we do it today.
No, but we do need to put, we need to just, if we're gonna send this to the House of Delegates, we need to decide today because our next board meeting is right before the House of Delegates. So we have to get that decided today if we're going to put this on in the House of Delegates.
The only thing we're at decide is
Right, right. And because we've already decided on taking that line out, so that, right, for the dues, because it's all we really have to decide today. As far as this goes, I don't know, I'll have to read the bylaws to see it. What that's.
Is there a motion on the table? So moved. Is there a second? Bob, second. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? We're going to skip Carla right now. Richard? Yes. I would like to move that.
No, this one doesn't conflict, this goes right along with what KI said. That never was, yeah, it was in ours and never in KI.
All right, we can do that. That's a motion for a second. Those in favor, ayes. Opposed? So be it. Okay, we're going to move down to number 5, CLE to Mary. So are you ready to hear? If you're not, we'll.
No, I'm fine, I just gotta find my phone, because, well, Mary's here too, so Mary probably could talk about fleet training, CLE. What do you know about? Oh, I was just gonna fill them in on what's going on, with what KI is expecting this year on fleet, Paul sent me an email. Paul sent me an email, last night to fill you all in on, if you're not familiar with what, KI is doing with club officer training and what, we're going to be doing. KI has asked for us to arrange in-person training as much as possible. Region 4, Martha has set up a training for June the 19th in St. Peter's in St. Louis area. They've put together a flyer and they're getting the word out, and they're trying to get RSVPs, and they're going to comply with CDC, but it looks like that's lightening up a little bit, so that should be better. Now, KI plans to offer online CLE training by Zoom
like they did last year, the week of June 19th and August 16th. That should be available for those unable to attend in-person training. So we're really trying to do in-person training. We'd like to get people back to.
There's also going to be training at the conference.
Yes, we're going to have a training in-person at the convention. And that's the next line in Paul's report. We still plan to offer in-person training at the convention in August. I have all the new leadership guides in my car, and we're going to bring those all in for tomorrow so that the lieutenant governors can take those back to their divisions. Nothing's changed as far as the PowerPoint. Now, we're not going to be able to do, we're going to do secretary training, but it's going to be pretty much what we've done in the past. However, starting next year, the training's not going to be available until, if I remember correctly, it's probably going to be January before the training is available for the new program that's going to be through Salesforce. And it'll hopefully be a lot easier for the secretaries to be able to do. But you can see KI slowly phasing away from Portal Buzz. So we're hoping to be able to get all of that training done. Apparently the prorated dues are causing some concern. So basically everything's good. And we're just getting ready to start our club officer training. So we will appreciate any help to get people there.
So at one time, we were supposed to try to do one in July in St. Louis County. Is that?
I don't know, that'd be Mary and Martha. Mary and Martha, I think they have a book in the Bible. No one's looking at doing anything in July at this point. But I'm sure someone will pick up the ball and run with it. Somebody will, I just know it. Barb is the one that's dropped the ball. We have found out where the ball is.
That's true. And the library meeting rooms are still not.
Yeah, the library is still not open. And Martha's got it set up at her daughter's training place at Mid Rivers Mall, so that'll be great. Okay, so that's all I know about club officer training. Yes.
You mentioned the KI, trying to do away with Portal Buzz.
You know, they've already gone to, now we get a free Portal Buzz as a district. But a lot of clubs have gotten away from Portal Buzz because it costs money to keep it. And so that, and KI has come up with websites. So that's how a lot of people are doing the new website through KI and not paying for Portal Buzz. But I know that KI, when you go into Secretary's dashboard, and this is where confusion gets in, you're not going to Portal Buzz. You're going to Kiwanis Connect. Portal Buzz is the page that you go to, and it provides all the menu things down at the left side that you can email and you can put all these documents in. But when you go down to Kiwanis, it takes you to Kiwanis Connect. So the Secretary dashboard is on Kiwanis. It's already a Kiwanis program. It's not Portal Buzz. So they've been slowly merging away from Portal Buzz for a while. So once this Salesforce goes in, I have a feeling that they're going to be, most of Portal Buzz is going to be gone.
See, that's a whole dark the but they try to get out of it. Then all of us instructions how to get out.
How to get out of it, you just don't pay your dues.
Okay.
But you can just tell them you're not going to renew. Because it's automatic renewal, but you just have to tell them that you're not going to renew. That's what we've done with all of the clubs I'm in. We don't use porta bus anymore. As a matter of fact, Cottleville, we use Google Docs and everything comes out of Google Docs. So there's so many free programs out there that you can use. You don't really need to use porta bus. Oh, yeah, it's expensive.
But you do need to notify them that you do not want to renew.
Correct.
They have us all set up on auto renew.
Right, exactly. It's auto renew. Don?
The COE training, is that definite for the convention? And
Yes.
The call of the secretary, new membership?
Yes, yes, we're gonna try to do all of it. We're still gonna work out the details and we're probably gonna have a meeting. I talked to Katie about scheduling something. We just haven't really planned anything at the convention because we wanted to make sure you guys were going with it. Yes, yes, you can tell people it'll be there, correct.
Okay, anything else? Would you come up here? I skipped over you a while ago, and I apologize. If you'll come up here and make a short report on the Wallace Youth Camp. I know we didn't give you fast notice.
All of my reports are short. All of my summaries are short. I'm good, we like that. They're 50 minutes. Thank you. Missouri, Arkansas, Beatrice Johnson, Washington. That's official thing. So I think we need to emphasize Missouri, Arkansas, and it's your camp. It's there. Thank you for your support. Picking back up, we have Cubs that have been using the camp. 2 or 3 Cub Scouts have been using it. In fact, one Cub Scout group came, said, saw some things that needed to be done, says, if we take on this project, they got boards donated and replaced the boards on the picnic tables that were lighted. So that's what we did. In March, in preparation for all of you, our board of directors had a meeting at the camp, had a work day. Everybody but Don showed up. And,
Smart, Don.
yeah, but got a lot done, painted the tables on the pavilion, cleaned up the pavilion, cleared trails, cleaned brush, there's places where our fence was broken up, we saw somebody four-wheeler and run around, so we took a lot of the brush that was cleaned up and powdered that. And, I don't know if it's been prepared there or not, but we've got to bring the barbed wire in place, the fence that was going to be done. We have got the restroom concrete finished where it is, will be handicap accessible. As Barb pointed out, Earl Collins grant for the funding for the sports cabin, we received the first payment of that. And we have a committee forum from Earl Collins and the trustees together. They're working together. Last week, I went with Chairman, I guess it was Martin, and we signed an agreement with the architect, get drawing plans, and have the original, the first preliminary drawings for the building available. I have them on my computer, if you want to see them. I don't have the big drawings. Like they're small. There they are. That's good. Okay, that's on that committee, on that building committee, so he's got to print it off here. Have it on how a presentation on the view of that. He said I couldn't do it. And I apologize, I don't have a finance report. Our finances look, we did have separated money, separate bank account for that designated for our building from our regular funds, and which is a good move. And we are continuing. The reason I knew at least had closed is that they gave us $2,000 from their funds that closed, so we appreciate that. At least we thinking of ways to help they can have continued
service. We have a Girl Scout troop coming next weekend, this week. Next week. And and other groups are scheduled, boys and Girls Scouts are scheduled. Others have been there wanting to come back, so things are picking back up again. You have questions? That's a brief report. I must have done a wonderful job. No questions. Now you don't keep. Okay.
Is anybody spending the night, staying the night in the night camping?
The Girl Scouts, for the first time, thanks to the new restroom, because that was one of the things that the women said, we're not going to stay overnight unless you have a restroom. They didn't like the report on it. And so the Girl Scouts, first time, will be spending the night next week, coming in on Saturday night. The Cub Scouts have been there overnight. In fact, the Cub Scouts have also asked if they can help us, Cub Scouts or Boy Scouts. The Boy Scouts came and said, can we help build new tent pads? We have 3 of our pods that are ready, completed. There's 2 more that have been cleared, but don't have a tent pad. They said, can we do that so we can bring in bigger groups? We said, well, no, we don't. We said, yes, good project for the Boy Scouts, Eagle Scout projects. So that's in the work, probably this year they'll be doing that. So they're excited about the campus.
If anybody knows an Eagle Scout that's looking for a project, there's a great opportunity to complete their Eagle Scout.
I will also, we've talked in the past about our relationship with the Mountain Bike Club. That's been cut off. They found out that state parks were putting in mountain bikes courses, and they joined with them. They have more money to help them, more places to do it. And so basically what they did was we have some trails because of their work, but they're no longer using the property for that. But that's it. Anything else? Come see us.
Thanks. If you have not been to the camp, really ought to go out there and again, get one to go with you. It's really, really impressive. Most of us remember when we was given the camp. It was just a bunch of wood trees, but it's really impressive. Yes, Lance.
Little aside, that's what I was down. Ben and I were down there inspecting it, kind of picked me out of snap, to walk around with all that. Remember that got burned up.
We are. The reason I'm skipping around a little bit, Carl was reporting, should just be pretty long, but right now I'm gonna let Robin make a pitch to buy a living chair.
Well, I had looked at some at Office Max because that's where Mary said there was an account. But she just told me we also have one at Best Buy, so I'll have to look there. But I've been having trouble with this computer. It keeps going blue screen and losing information, and then I have to rebuild it. So time, I think, for us to get a new computer.
Roy's gonna test. Roy's gonna test how bad that computer is.
Yeah, Roy knows how bad it is. But I was just hoping, I had found one, it's a Lenovo. I know Roy wanted me to go with a Mac, but those Macs are expensive. And I'm not really good with a Mac. I've used it occasionally, but not in a full-time way and stuff. So that might be a little bit of a learning curve for me, but I know that I found one, a Lenovo, that has 1 terabyte of hard drive and 8 gigs of memory and things. And Office Depot and Office Max has them on sale for $649.99. So I guess the biggest thing, I'm going to check with Best Buy and see if I can find something better for them.
I would suggest Microsoft.
Well, yeah, I could buy it online. I guess the biggest thing is just how much can I spend to get us something? And Roy, do you have any?
Well, we don't have any money here in the budget,
Right.
but you do have money elsewhere. You.
Okay. Right.
We're gonna leave the decision up to you. You're the work. Y'all, your opinion.
Well, I think that to be quite honest, and Robert and I've had this conversation many times. I think Robert saved some money and tried to buy a cheap computer. And, you know, I love my computer.
This has worked really well for me, and it cost $750. And I think that you need to spend a little bit more money to get a good quality computer, something that you can count on to work when you need it to. So, you know, I'm sure we've got some money in supplies, office supplies too, so.
Do we need a motion for that or just,
In the budget.
just,
We need, you just got our word on.
My question was, Rob supplied things that she has in her budget. She below that needs to cover it, or will it be? We need to do it below.
She hasn't bought hardly anything. I'm the one that spends the money.
I would
Just so
say
you know.
$100 in office supplies.
There's money in the secretary office supplies, and yeah, about all Robin spend is
One of which is Roger has 800, 900, up to, say up to 900 or $1,000. No, I don't think that. But I have to match, you know, they're expensive. Well, please. Could get that.
well, she's got money in her budget. Definitely in the travel budget, she's got money available in her line, in her section of the budget. In the overall budget, she's got money available. Yeah, and then I also have money in supplies because I'm bought in supplies this year, other than ink.
all right, so if I understand, you're gonna go buy one out of your budget account somewhere, somehow. You like, and I know that you like, people that likes Apple, loves Apple. But if you're not comfortable with an Apple, it is a nightmare. Okay, while we're spending money. I have talked to you guys before, and I'll talk to you again. We're honored that Barb is going to run for international vice president. And it takes money, and I know people are spending in money, and that's well and good, but I would like MOARK, if it's legal, to make a donation to her campaign. Because you see, we got this beautiful flower, but I can't afford colored ink. So I bring it all black and white to say, man, but seriously, she is representing MOARK, and we need to be proud of her, and I don't know what kind of money you want. Yes, Les.
I would make a motion that we budget $1,000. I mean, $2,000 for a campaign, and let the other funds come in. So I think we'll take at least $2,000. My hope is we are, MA fund, $2,000.
Is there a second? There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? What you're saying is the contribution will count for the 2,000.
Yeah.
The district is not the difference.
No, but somewhere we budget $2,000 in addition. $2,000. And $2,000 minimum.
Well, this is different than most campaigns because
It's done with the delegates at large, not with, it's not done with the House of Delegates. So it's not like we're gonna be,
That's not as.
she doesn't need to wine and dine.
But I did find out, well, one of the big charges before was t-shirts that cost about $500. But,
T-shirts for who?
t-shirts for people to wear around.
Nobody's gonna do it.
Well, but I just got a memo from Denise Parker saying people can wear t-shirts during the education. So I thought that t-shirts that.
Still got mine there.
Mine has a hole in it, so I need to look.
But anyway, first of all, I really appreciate it. It makes me feel guilty. Although
And you have to pay us back.
although it is good for the district to have a candidate.
Absolutely. And you may lose, but you may win. But I can tell you as a delegate, I am getting literature in the mail, on the computer, phone calls. So they are spending money. I believe there's 5 of them that's in the race. So I don't know what it costs to run. I could say that, Les, if you would make your motion up to and no more than 2,000, depending on what she may need. Right. And she doesn't need the whole 2,000, don't spend it. Who seconded that motion? Tom. Now, is there any more discussion?
Well, my confusion is that a motion has to, make, which traditionally have been contribution. That's income, it's on expenses.
Right.
So I think the motion needs to say that we will spend $2,000 this
As a separate money. As a separate line item.
Right. I think we have.
Or
There's nothing.
Well, there is, well, we don't have a line, we don't have something, I've got some donations so far. So I've got a few donations.
I think we've got a new line number.
Right,
No money.
no money.
So Les' motion needs to say what?
People walk around $2,000 just.
Right. Sounds good. Tom, you still second that? Yes. Are there any more discussions? Well, those in favor say aye. Opposed? Me? I just hit Barbara's awake. Good, because we're fixing to get into we're getting into the good part of this. Our key club advisor and Carly, you can talk about Lieutenant Governor.
May I just say thank you all?
And if you didn't hear, there was a big thank you from Barb. Okay, first Lieutenant Governor's training is tomorrow. Thank you for anybody who's staying over and participating in it. We still do have 3 openings, which is Division 5, Division 21, and Division 23. And does anyone have, I was involved in the past governors conference. And actually one of our past groups helped come up with 2 folks for me. So thank you very much, Don Lupo. Anyone else have anything that they can do to assist us in the open divisions?
I'm working with, and as we heard.
She thought she had somebody.
But turned out I talked to her Monday, I think what she said, I can't get her answer the phone anymore, she's locked. So we're moving on.
That's a true sign, I don't think she.
I think we need to move on. We need a couple names, contacts, we'll contact them Tuesday. And I haven't heard that call, so that's.
I've been working on 5, but I've not had any luck so far.
And AC is working on 23. And we do have Division 8, we did everything we could. Did you hear anything back from her? Anyhow, Becky had said she would stay on another year, but that'll be her 5th year as lieutenant governor. Yeah.
Maybe get it right this time.
You can only.
So we're trying very hard to find somebody yet for Division 5 as well, because you shouldn't have to do that for 5 years. Division 8, you shouldn't have to do it for 5 years. Got my 5s and 8s confused. And I'd do anything not to talk about.
I'm not gonna take a lot.
About line item. We had a discussion the last time we had a meeting about Steve Mills, who is the former Key Club, what's the official title?
He's the Q Club administrator.
Administrator.
He was.
And we were having some problems with him. We sort of thought the problems went away. The problems came back again. And the problems seem to have come back with a vengeance now. And Steve contacted Barbara Thompson, asking for her help to get things done because he feels like he is not being heard. His concerns have been heard previously. We have tried to check all of the things that Steve said, and they don't seem to be 100% accurate. We don't see that the Key Club governor has done anything wrong. He would like to see the Key Club governor sanctioned. He doesn't want to see all of the people that were just installed in April who happen to be from the same high school. He doesn't want to see that happening. And we all would agree that that is not the optimum way to do business. However, no one else, because so many Key Clubs weren't even meeting, no one else would step up and run for the position. So we kind of felt like having someone in all the positions was much better than letting them sit, because it would have to come from one school. Steve Mills has been in contact directly with students. Steve is not actually an active Key Club member and has not been since the 1st of October. He evidently says he tried to join the E Club. He says he has sent a check in twice, and no one that's involved in the Centennial Club has ever received it. So you don't know what to do about that piece of information. Each time he sends out an email to someone, he sent to Barbara twice. He sent it 2 weeks ago and then again this week. And each time what he's sending escalates. So he is mentioning the fact that, and if anyone doesn't like this discussion, they're welcome to leave. They don't want to participate in it, but I do need to share what I can share with you. He says that he was abused as a Key Clubber when he was in Kiwanis Key Club. He says that he was abused by a former governor. He also, the second time he sent stuff to Barb, he has listed a laundry list of people that were doing inappropriate things, other former governors. However, Barbara, aren't we looking at people from 20 plus years ago? Okay, AC is saying one of them is from 1976, 77. So to follow up on this stuff is just nigh on to impossible. And last April, I believe, is when it started. I took everything that we had from the Key Club governor, who very kindly saved all of the emails that she got from Steve Mills. And I forwarded this to KI and said, even though last year you said this was a district problem and we should take care of it, it seems to keep escalating and we really would like to have you involved. So Michelle Studi Campbell, who is the executive director of Kiwanis Youth Programs, and David Kress, who is the KI General Counsel, it is in their hands. We told them little over a week ago, that we were having this meeting today. And I'm sorry, let me back up one step. The general counsel had sent out a cease and desist letter to Steve Mills. However, he has sent 2 things to Barbara since then. No, that's not true. He has sent 1 thing to Barbara since the cease and desist. Because if you looked at the emails, the first one he sent to Barb was within a half hour of when the cease and desist went out, but it was to Barbara first and cease and desist second. Correct. So I mean, I don't believe we have any we don't have any direct action at this point that the board needs to take. If there's any discussion that the board would like to have about this, what we're being told right now is that David Kress, the council, is taking care of this and we need to let him deal with it. He is also dealing with Steve Mills' attorney. So to me, that's another step in the wrong direction, if you will. Anyhow, it's all pretty frightening stuff. There's a lot of inappropriate things that are being brought up, and we may need to check into it. I don't know if KI is going to come back to us and ask us for some input back. And I tried, even though we told them we needed something today, there wasn't anything. I called them both at lunchtime and left a message that we sure would appreciate an update, even if it was they contacted his attorney 3 times and haven't heard back. It would be nice to know what was going on, but we haven't received something back. And my apologies, that's why I keep looking at my phone to see if there was anything in here, and there's not.
Brad, are you aware of anything? Are you aware of
No,
anything?
I'm the one that put Mary on to David and Michelle, so.
Yes, Mark.
I think that the sexual abuse charge is the one that's obviously most severe, but I read and reread the youth protection policy and it said that if you find out something after it allegedly occurs, you send it to the leaders of which is why I sent it to all of you and to Kiwanis Nation. But I think that there's no statute of limitation on alleged sexual. So I don't know what this portends, but I know that in Steve's second email, he was very angry at me for not having responded.
He thought you were better.
He thought I was better than that. And he said that MOARK just is sweeping this all under the rug. Anyway, so it is something I think serious.
I need to talk to
I have, yeah, I have, you need to let the folks know.
I just asked if anyone has, I don't know what the title is,
He was the key club administrator.
yes, key club administrator. And would have been the administrator during the time that Mills was involved with.
I think that needs to come from Roy. He does not want us to do, he doesn't want us to do anything.
He has recommended that we let him take care of it, and we, Barbara can't reply back to Stephen Mills, even though somebody wants to say, hey, give us a break, we gotta investigate it. But nobody, he doesn't encourage that we talk to anybody.
Should we take any action to bar him from Kiwanis? Should,
He is currently not,
right, but should we take any action to prevent him from joining any Kiwanis club in the district?
how can you monitor that?
How can you monitor that though? I mean, he could join a club, he could join an e-club from Florida. Or, he could join anywhere, and we wouldn't know that until it was too late.
And then also, what's your criteria?
Yeah.
Because all it says in the bylaws and stuff about meeting the standards of the community.
Well, he was sharing with us the bylaws for Key Club and saying that the Key Club governor was doing inappropriate things there. While he is saying that, the emails that I got copies of back were of Steve Mills talking to the Key Club governor and the Key Club editor, Josh Tan, talking to the two kids. And that's absolutely a part of the bylaws, that you are not to have electronic communications like that individually. You are to copy in other people that are on the board with you. So, he is not a perfect human being on what he's doing most recently either. So I don't know, though that is inappropriate that he was talking to them, only him, and that he told them that they were to only communicate with him and they were not to talk to any other adult supervisors.
Just a question, do we have added?
hold that thought.
Do we have adequate legal protection as a board and as a district in case he files suit against us?
I believe that we do through KI. Now, do you ever have adequate protection? I don't know. There are limits, of course. Yes, I see.
There was Wednesday, I believe there was an article in the paper that our legislators just passed a law that if you are over the age of 55, you can no longer sue somebody in the past. So that's something KI attorneys needs to check into, because I don't know this guy, I don't know how old he is, but I 76, he was 16. He's up in his age, but I don't know that. I know this started when I was governor-elect. John Hoffman called me and gave me a short version, and I told John that I didn't need to know the details at that time, and I didn't, because it wasn't intended to anyone, and it just lay for a year and a half. He didn't get very expensive.
It really took off at the time that the officers were installed in Key Club in April, is when it ignited seriously. So other than the fact that this is totally depressing, shall we end the meeting on this?
Well, I think we should, since you're doing our letter.
Thank you very much.
I just want to say, if the governor he's talking about is the one I know, this is a fine gentleman. He's been a foreign all of his life. And he's stellar, and, you know, you make these charges, he can give him money if it gets out. And these other people that he's named, so he needs to make sure he's got some evidence, other than he said, I said, blah, blah, blah. Yes, yes.
I agree.
Well, anyway, we had a good meeting up until I let Carla, so.
Do you want to see if Bill has anything he wants to say or share?
Bill, do you have anything you want to
Share.
say? Share? Anything?
No. I
Just,
hope you're out. Go ahead.
just to thank you for all for the support that you give me over the last few weeks. It's been a challenge going through what I just went through. So thank you.
Well, good luck, sweetie, and we hope everything goes well for you.
It's going quite well. The recovery is doing well. So thank you.
Roy wants to say something intelligently.
I don't know about that, y'all are me enough, but I did want to announce that having passed bylaws saying that trustees can run for reelection, I'm not running for reelection. So I'm looking for a new trustee for Division 8, and we have a meeting by Zoom next week. I'm looking for a candidate first, so I'm hoping that we can come up with someone. And the reason I'm not running for reelection is that I'm running for governor-elect. I have filed the necessary paperwork and asked for background check, so if I pass the background check, I will be a candidate. It's the second background check I've had in 3 weeks, so it may not pass either one of them, but I want to say that it's been an honor being on this board, and probably I would never even thought about running for something like this without having served on this board for most of 5 years out of 6, I guess. Yeah. And I thought long and hard and went back and forth about whether to be a candidate, in part because we already had a candidate. And one of the reasons has nothing to do with Kiwanis, and that is that y'all may not believe this, but I'm not a young man. Well, when I retired, I thought I left the pressure behind me at the newspaper editor, and it's been fun being retired in spite of everything. And I started playing a lot of golf and getting involved in a few things, and I actually got better as a golfer. So it's kind of fun being retired, you know, for those of you who are, you know what I mean. And I am in awe of some of the people that I work with, especially past governors, Barb and Les. Having seen them work and having seen how enthusiastic all of you are about Kiwanis, I'm a little afraid of not being able to measure up. So that was one of my hesitancies. But on the other hand, we're at a time where we got to have people step up. And this past year has been something like nobody else has ever since 1980. My own club has struggled like your clubs have. We managed to gain 2 and lose 2. But I'm afraid we're probably going to lose more than we really get geared back up. And get that all over the district. So our work is not done by any means, and I hope to be able to help in whatever way I can. So thank you very much.
Thank you for your service, Roy. Now, you do understand back when I joined Kiwanis 44 years ago, I moved out of town. And the president of our club says, you can't leave Kiwanis until you have a replacement. So you need to get someone to replace you on those books before you leave. Carl?
We have, the one Region 2 trustee that's open, and that's that same Division 5, for which we don't have a lieutenant governor in Division 1. Anyhow, Region trustee we need to fill.
Right.
Okay, Mary, you gonna tell us about it?
Yes, as a matter of fact, it's in this room. I know y'all are shocked. You can see the service tables are all set up. It's going to be at 6 o'clock. And this gives you some time to go to your room, take it easy. And we will meet back here somewhere between 5:30 and 6. And we'll also have our lieutenant governors that are coming in tonight for tomorrow's meeting. Some aren't coming in until in the morning, but most of them are coming in tonight, so you'll get to meet them. We can keep the room set up as it is, or we can move the tables around. Whatever you guys think. Is this fine? This way you can see each other and talk. So some people brought their spouses. I think we'll have plenty of room. If not, we can always put people on the inside of the table. Tomorrow's breakfast is free, and it is in this room, this place right back over here. I'm not sure where all of your rooms are, but ours are right over here, the brick building. Anyway, that's where the breakfast buffet is, and in the evening, they actually have desserts. I don't know if they told you that when y'all were checking in. So they have desserts this evening. So you guys can join us. And then lunch tomorrow, for those of you that are staying, Panera, we're gonna have box lunches from Panera. And then tomorrow night is, we have reservations at a restaurant called Paradise that is highly recommended. And when I told the gals here, they went, oh, okay. Anyway, I don't know what it's gonna be like getting there, because I know that Branson gets really crazy in the evening. But one good thing is we don't have to get back on 76. We can drive the back way out of here to get to the restaurant. It's on Shepherd of the Hills Parkway. I'll send you guys the address to that. But I will be telling everybody tomorrow about that. We have reservations. Tonight we've got 32 people that are going to be having dinner with us. Tomorrow we'll have 25 people have a lunch, and then we'll have about 26 people having dinner tomorrow night. So this has really been a good crowd. Carla's been working her butt off to get these lieutenant governors here. So I want you guys to know she's been busting her butt to try to fill these spots and encourage. I'm shocked. Bravo. I'm shocked. But do you have your cowbell?
No.
No cowbell. Fred. Can you see the way we're set up? We're in a big U shape. Will that work for tomorrow for Lieutenant Governor training?
Yeah, I can only see the head table. Yeah, I can see all of you at the head table, but I can't see the other U's.
Head table is 1/3, way out.
Here, hang on a second.
This is
This is what I do at my club meeting all the time.
But we can see you, so that's the important part.
That is, yeah, we're gonna have them working together, right, Fred?
Uh-huh. So there I
Here
see the rest. Yeah.
Up table,
Yeah.
And
There
then-
are people there.
Yeah.
and then we come around, and I'm running out of cords. Everybody wave.
There's
tell you, I
lots
do
of
this at
people
my
there,
club
Brad.
meeting all the time.
What What's the deal, Brad?
I don't know.
All we saw was 3 people.
You need one of those directional ones that follows the voice.
Yeah.
That's all you get to see. That's all you get to see. If you're not here in person, you don't get to see it.
Well, I can taste the food now, but
Yeah, that'll work. We'll make it work.
If we have to break down into different setups, we can try to do something. I think this is working. Actually, we're not working together. Yeah.
We can't make it 4 o'clock. Brad, the main 3 that you say are the real important ones around
That's
here.
right. The rest of these people.
They're just people, they're here, and let me just tell you guys that Chuck is a commentator here, and it is fantastic.
But
Yes. If anything else, we're gonna break it. 2 minutes after 4. I missed them all.
look, I closed this down.
That's it. We will see you guys at the Gals tonight at 6 o'clock right here. Come on.
Thank you, Bill.
Stay
Good luck.
safe. Stay safe.
See you
See
tomorrow.
you, Bill.
Brad.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, Bill.